and the outcome is not what anyone wanted, and so that entire time was just completely wasted and inefficient. And that's another, I guess, process of the best practices that they really are trying to focus on. After that, we kind of moved away from the projects that are happening in Moldova, and he just kind of told us about kind of some tidbits for life. One of them he said is that a beginner equals power, and I absolutely love this idea, because when you're a beginner you can ask questions, and you don't have to be ashamed, or hey, I don't know what this is, but can you tell me more about it? And I mean, knowledge is also power. So when you're a beginner, you're able to grasp all this knowledge, which then leads to more and more power. And I love that. I remember being younger and with all the sports I played, just being told that you need to be coachable. And I feel like if you can remain coachable for the entirety of your career, the entirety of your life, then you'll just have this power. You'll have this, I guess nothing could stop you. You're just progressing. And then the next thing he said that I also really liked were that smart people are aware of what they don't know. So I never heard anyone say that before, but I completely get that idea behind it, that if you're not aware of what you don't know, then you don't know what you're not knowing. I mean, I could just go in circles about how that makes sense, but I don't know, that really resonated with me, just that, you don't have to know everything, but if you're aware of what you don't know, then you can somehow learn that if you want to or choose to. And being that beginner, you have the power to learn that. And you can be an expert in ways, but as long as you have a beginner's mentality, you can still be more successful than you expected. After we talked to John, we took a drive out to the UNHCR center in Moldova. And when we arrived, I was absolutely amazed. It is just fascinating here. It's gorgeous, and they said if you're ever to see a UNHCR facility or a refugee camp, this is not the one to see, because it's not what it looks like. Normally you're given a sheet and you're in the dirt. And we had been told that Timișoara in Romania was, the Hilton of refugee camps. And if that was the Hilton, this is, up here. It's just was, I was stunned by how gorgeous it was. For a refugee camp, there was a doctor who comes in every day. There was actually a schoolroom with books and academic desk and a chalkboard, so the people could actually I guess live there. There were at the refugee camp in Timișoara, there's what's called Turkish lights, so it's just a hole in the ground so that the hygiene is kept clean. Like if someone has a disease, it doesn't get passed. And here there was actually full toilets, and if someone's sick, they go to the hospital. They don't have to worry about the possibility of a disease being passed around. There's a playground for the kids, like there's volleyball courts, soccer fields, basketball fields, and we have some of these things in Timișoara, but here they were just like central. Another thing I noticed is like in Timișoara we have one security guard, just sits in one spot. Here they have like a security guard for multiple posts. And I thought that was really interesting. The way they do it here as well is that within one area there is 5 rooms, and rooms can hold either families or individuals. And within the 5 rooms, like in this block, there's also a kitchen and its own bathroom, and that's kind of unheard of. Normally you have a gigantic dormitorium where all these refugees stay, for transit centers, not even for like the real refugee camps, but yeah, you have this giant dormitories, and there's one kitchen and one bathroom for all of these beds, bunk beds. And here it was like you had your space, you had your apartment, you had this joined living situation, but for a very small number of people. There was a playroom for a kid. There's also one in Timișoara, but here it was just the colors were bright, the walls were painted, the toys were new. It was just very, very different. And the reason for this, they said, was because of the country government funding. So for most UNHCR refugee transit centers, they get a comparable wage or money that they can invest. And right now I know in Timishata they're really spending a lot of money on security and cameras and just all of that. But in Moldova, the government has supplied so much more money to the UNHCR in Moldova that the facility is that much nicer. So I don't know how other transit centers could find persuasion techniques to influence the government to help them, maybe by going to the Moldovan refugee camp and seeing what they have and how well it's running and trying to implement that in Timișoara. So that was just, it was really interesting. The normal stay at this refugee camp was 6 months. However, when we were there, they were talking about a family that's been there for 10. Just that the mother was ill and then they trained her daughter in vocational, like cosmetology, and bought her a pedicure chair, and simply that wasn't, then the daughter got sick and wasn't working in the place that had her working, just said, I don't need this kind of work in my company, and she left. And they've just been sitting there and sitting there and sitting there. And I was just shocked. I wonder, like, when funding would stop to that, it was like, you need, you're being put somewhere, like, this is your time to figure it out, like, we've assisted you as much as we can. But when they said 10 years, I was just like, wow, that's 9.5 years longer than you're supposed to be there. But after we went to the refugee camp, oh goodness, we went somewhere, I can't think of where we went. We went to lunch. It was, I can't even describe it. I was sick for at least 4 hours. Amazing, just quantities of food. There was cheese platters, there were vegetable platters, then came a soup course, and then a meat course, and a potato course. And just Moldova actually has amazing wines, and took full advantage of them at lunch. But yeah, no, it's, we've been treated like royalty here, and it's been nice, but also looking at the difference within the country, it's almost shocking that just spending money, or not us spending money, but just looking at how much we have in comparison, it's like, oh, I don't need all of this, but it's great. I really like the company and the people showing us Moldova. Afterwards was actually, it was interesting, because when I was in Europe in 2008, 2009, I went to Bosnia, and we went to a school there, and when we went, it was very much like an interrogation. They wanted us to know about the war that happened in Bosnia, and just, I was young and ignorant and there's still many things that I clearly don't know about, but we went, and it was like, do you know what happened on this day? Do you know what this was, blah, 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 and we didn't know, and so we were kind of attacked. But then after time, the students kind of, I guess, warmed up to us in Bosnia. And then last week we also went to the school that I talked about in my previous blog, the Romanian school, which was also a completely different setting, which we were in this panel, and they were questioning us, and we had positive and negative comments, but I appreciated the fact that we had both of them and gave, it was real, and I appreciate reality. And then we met with them afterwards, and that was just a completely different setting. But today we met with a group of Moldovan students who are in the transportation business, and John explained everything about the Millennium Challenge Corporation and what they're doing here. And then we went on, and we had a conversation. They asked us questions, we asked them questions, and it was just great. They were so knowledgeable, and their English was, some of them spoke beautiful English, and others, I only talked to a part of the group independently, and there was definitely two leaders, I guess you could say, and maybe that's because their English was so good. But one was named Stas, and the other one was named Favel. It was like Havel, but Favel. And it was, I guess there was another man named Dmitri, and he was very vocal about his opinion as well. And it was just a genuine conversation about life and government and Moldovan lifestyles and American lifestyles and the culture. And I just feel like we got a strong sense of Moldova from these guys. There was one girl in the class. She spoke a lot as well, and that was, I don't know, we could ask questions about education, and was it weird being the only girl, and do you feel disadvantaged? And I loved hearing from them. And then at the end, it wasn't really like we were broken into groups, but we had a 10-minute break, and in the process, we had two of us talk to a group of people, and two of us talk to the other group of people, and it was the intimate, the more personal conversation, I think, was one of the highlights, just because you weren't talking to a whole group. You got to talk to this person and hear what they have to say, and it just, I don't know, it was really amazing. It was just fun to hear. I wasn't feeling attacked. I was feeling like I was just accepted and not appreciated, but just like, hey, you seem nice, we seem not, like, we're nice, like, let's figure this out. So it was just a lot of fun talking to them and hearing about their previous experiences in life. Afterward, just came home, but no, John was a host of all hosts. I'm glad that we fit so much into one day. And tomorrow we're also going to fit a lot into one day, and I'm like anticipating it. I'm really excited. I want to see what we're gonna do. I know we're gonna go up and view the road, but like, every day when you're traveling is just an adventure, and the adventure keeps progressing and progressing. And even though there aren't refugees at the camp, they're actually coming on Wednesday, so that will be fun to actually hang out with refugees. It's almost been a blessing in disguise, even though it's not why we came, because we've been able to learn so much more. Not so much more, but just different aspects that I don't think we would have been able to learn if refugees would have been in the camp for the previous 2 weeks. So I'm more than grateful for the opportunities that we've been given, especially with being able to go to Brasov and Braun and seeing different parts of Romania and talking to the Romanian school and going to the re-education center with the boys, and then this trip to Moldova. It's been definitely a blessing in disguise, and I don't think I could have planned a trip that we could have learned more this fast, or learned so much about the culture this quickly. So anyways, I will blog again tomorrow about our next day with John, and hopefully it is wonderful. I'm sure it will be wonderful. But bye.